Okay, so in this tutorial, I am going to try and show you the proper way to import a image from the internet, a raster image, and vectorize it so it is one path. What I mean by one path is that the line is just one path like that the laser cutter can follow to cut your outline out of a piece of material rather than just engraving it. So we're going to start by placing the picture I chose of a rock climber. So I specifically picked a picture where it was a clear outline that I knew would make for a good shape to laser cut. All right, so there's a number of steps to follow. Step one, and we're going to actually, I'm going to go Command 0 and just zoom in on this. And I'm going to just drag this out of the way for now, down here. Step one, we want to reduce the complexity of this image because right now there's a lot of information in here we don't need to be tracing. So I'm going to go to Object, Rasterize, and now normally it'll import at a high pixel rate. We're going to try and reduce the pixel rate so that we can still see the shape, but there's less information that needs to be image traced. So I'm going to go reduce it to about 50. So you can see, if I zoom in, you can see it's become pixelated, but there's still all the information I need in there to turn it into an outline. So now we're going to image trace it. So you can click, if you have this little pop up here, you can click image trace, okay, or you can click it over here. I'm just going to undo that. You can also do it over here. So if you do it on the right hand side, it'll give you the option to pick the kind of image trace. If you just do default, that's what you'll get. Okay, so we're going to try and add a bit more. Default might actually work, I gotta say. If you need a bit more detail, you can go to 3 colors. Or you can even go to 6 colors and it'll add a bit more detail. So you can see 6 colors is too much. So I'm going to go down to 3 colors here. And in fact, for this particular one, I could probably just do black and white like that, and it would do the trick. So let's go to 3 colors. Okay, so you can see there's decisions to be made. Now, we're going to make some changes. So I need to pop out the image trace panel. So I click on this icon here. So the first thing I want to do is outline my trace. So under View, I'm going to click Tracing Result with Outlines. I'm just going to pick outlines first, right? So this is really what we want for the laser cutter, is the outlines. But so that I can adjust the outlines, I'm going to go Tracing Result with Outlines. And then I can play around with things like how many colors using all the sliders. So you can use this panel to sort of tweak your trace so you can increase the number of paths so you get more detail, or you can decrease the number of paths. You can round the corners a little bit. Okay, you can increase the noise or decrease the noise. And so you can play around with that until you get the outline, you get the shape that you want to actually cut. Now there's a couple of tricks here. Under Method, you do not want abutting. You want to create stacked paths. You want overlapping. So you click overlapping, and then you have to click expand. Okay, and so now you will have made a whole bunch of paths around your shape. So there's a couple more steps. You can see here, we've actually got 2 lines here right now. So there's a couple more steps we need to follow to simplify this. So making sure everything is selected, you go over here to your Pathfinder. If you can't see it, you can go Window, Pathfinder. And in the Pathfinder window, you want to do 2 things. The first thing you want to do is you want to merge the paths. So now those 2 paths have become one path that traces exactly the outside of your shape. Second thing you want to do is you want to outline the shape. And so now all the colors go away, and what you're left with is the path that the laser cutter can follow. Now, as you can see from this, this is still much too complicated. Oh, and look what happened. It's not the right color. So let's go over here to our layers and see let's go over here to properties and let's select everything. And what you will see over here is under stroke, it doesn't know what color it all is, because when we vectorized it, we kind of got a bunch of different colors. So what you have to do is give it a stroke color. So I'm going to give it a black stroke color. And we also need to give it a stroke line. So I'm going to go about 0.5. Okay, so now I have a shape I can use. So now you need to fix this up. So the easiest way to do that to begin with is to use the shape builder tool. So you need to select everything, go get the shape builder tool, and now you can start to click and merge any shapes that you want to merge together. Okay, now, so I can merge these one. Now you can see here, actually I quite like that. We don't need that bottom part. Okay, so you can see here, I really don't want this part in here. I kind of want to connect from here to here. So I'm going to have to draw a line. And so once you've sort of done some of your shape building, you can go get your pen tool. Now, I'm actually going to make a mistake first. So you can see by the blue that I've got everything selected. If I click on this, you can see the paths are changing, right? So if I have everything selected and I click on a node, it's actually going to change the path. So what I have to do if I want to draw a new line is I need to get my selection tool. I need to click off here somewhere, deselect everything. So now I can get my pen tool and I can click right about here and here and maybe curve it a little bit, hit escape to exit. So what I've done is I have drawn in a new path. Now I want to make sure that, let's get out of that. Let's go back to my direct selection tool here. So what I want to do is make sure, however, because the thickness doesn't tell you where the path is. Here's the path. So I want to make sure that these two paths connect, and they do, right? And I've also got my handles here, so if I want to, I can use the handles to play around with that path a little bit. So now that I've closed up that shape, now I'm going to select everything, get my shape builder tool, and now I should be able to connect up my cliff and my rock climber. So I have one shape, okay? So I'm not going to make you watch the rest of, me do the rest of this. Another trick is if you don't want to just use shape builder, you can use the direct selection tool to select parts of the shape and delete those as well. Let's undo that. So what you want to, when you're finished, you want to have just, oh, you can see here I've got two lines here. So I'm going to click on the inside one and try and delete that. If you tilt by accident, you can go View, Reset, Rotate View. So you want to tidy everything up so that all you have left is just one single line like this. I'm just going to make it all the same thickness. And then you can use that in your clocks, right? You can cut out that shape with your clocks. So hopefully that helps. Good luck trying to vectorize and cut out some of your shapes.